Ladies and Germans, how you all doing? This is Con Ulrich.
And I'm Rang Ru. Hello, hello, hello.
And folks, we're bringing it back towards cooking with Rang and Con. But first, let's talk about the match we got going on today. We have a 2v2 on Novka, another new map. And Rang, who's fighting it out?
Well, on the left-hand side in blue, we have fufubear playing as 20th Panzer with Vanguard income, and Tristan playing as 14 Infantrie with Maverick income. On the right-hand side in red, we have Kurbs playing as 26 Guard Strelkovy, Maverick income, and Fudmeister, same division, 26 Guards, with balanced income.
So we'll get right back to that really interesting recipe that we talked about before the break. But Rang, tell us a little bit more about the 20th Panzer. How does that play out?
Just Panzer Rust Division, Panzer Force, Panzer Freeze, 1 IS to get you captured. It's pretty standard, like, light, medium tank stuff. You really want to be running an A and B phase, because you don't have many units in C phase. Yeah, an alright division. They're quite fun, because you got the Panzer Force and the IS-2s. Pretty interesting, also the capture T-34s, but nothing super amazing. Just, they're fun.
Interesting. So we're looking at the northern side for both teams. Actually, we're seeing a fairly heavy infantry investment. I'm kind of actually liking the starting position over here for Fudmeister. And with that additional income later on, I don't know, how's that going to match up against Tristan's earlier push?
I mean, looking at Tristan up top, he's got the artillery, the Stugs, the IG-18 is pretty good defensive, and honestly, it's a pretty good map for setting up defenses, especially with an infantry division. As well, there's quite a few choke points on the map, as you may notice, with all the lakes and whatnot really cutting into the map's terrain as it is.
Well, here's the question: is this a map that you take one of the American divisions and just start using double D tanks going across that water?
Yes, this would be a really cool map for using those DD tanks. This is definitely a perfect map for DD tanks for sure.
Definitely looks it. It looks like early on we're going to see some smoke coming on out. Literally the first shells, this will be smoke on the water. I'm not sure about fire in the skies, but we'll see that shooting up for sure.
Yep, and we got the flamethrower troops being rushed into the town to capture Shed Place. And now up north, Fudmeister's setting up the AT gun line with 45 mils. And also Fudmeister also dropping smoke on more towards his own positions, but
you know what? That makes sense. Down at the heights, you can always move. You can always move west later. It's not a big deal if you want to do that right now. And there's not a whole lot up there against that. Just one air assault MG and that IG-18. So kind of a scratch defense, all things considered. But things are actually kicking off down south. We're going to see a Snipetti team engaging some Osttroop and an Su-85 also taking out the Alpha Calera inside that 247B.
That's a good position for the Su-85. I also just want to note for the viewers, currently right now of his replay, the flags are bugged. We can't see him. We can see him on the minimap, but we can't see him on the map, so I do apologize for, confusion of trying to keep up with that.
Yeah, but you know what? We'll come back to it pretty darn soon.
We're not very good at capture the flag.
I see what you did there. Ooh, actually, we have a nice sustained rush coming up on the upper side here. Look at this. Actually, a big move. Not attack move, which I kind of respect even more.
Yeah, I really like how he dropped the smoke in earlier, and now he's going to be moving in down the hill with all his infantry and into a rather nice defensible position.
And even more so than that. Ooh, wait, first airplane coming on out? Okay, an IL-2 coming down south? No, just kind of moving around a bit. But yes, with one Airsats MG, I'm not sure that we're going to have enough firepower coming up here to push that back.
Yeah, especially with the KV-1s giving fire support. Fudmeister should be able to make some good progress up here. Tristan is getting some Panzer II Lukes to try and get some fire support up here, as well as a Stug. So he is getting some defenses and also dropping in all the artillery using those rather classic 120mm mortars. By the time you've seen this video, they should be nerfed, or I think soon, hopefully, because right now they're kind of bugged in terms of air supply usage.
Well, IL-2 does go down to the south, and AT gun to the north gets kind of pinned down. So the Russians trying to stabilize their lines a bit. Looks like the Germans had a little bit better of an early push here.
Yeah, middle was really just an artillery on Tristan's infantry, as Fudmeister brings in some guards. Down south here, it's really interesting. The IS-2 Boy to Stalin is holding off against ISU-152, which is currently bugged at the moment in terms of its replay when it was recorded. I recall. Let me just double check if I can actually select it, but I can't. But nonetheless, the IS-2 is actually fighting an IS-1 down south, which is pretty amusing.
But in any case, so there's not some ground? Oh, okay, so we have a couple ZSUs there. Ooh,
yeah.
Actually, we have a B4 203mm way far back. He's going to try to engage that Boy to Stalin.
But yeah, phase 1, that's a very interesting call. You usually don't see those guys till B or C.
Usually a pretty good reason for that, though, too. I mean, without having any artillery on the front lines, you're not going to get a whole lot of effective fire support.
Yeah, yeah. There is actually a pretty good combo, because ISU actually provides corrected shot bonuses. So it's not too bad, considering usually the Soviets have terrible radio control on maps.
Well, it's kind of a little hard to get messages through when you're using 2 tin cans and string.
Or like Soviet tanks in the pre-war era just use hand signals and flares, T-26s.
Yes. So the German artillery park, by the way, gets suppressed quite a bit. Oof, that should take some really big losses.
Yeah.
But to the north, the Russians are not getting that breakout they were hoping for. Shockingly enough, the Panzer Lux is backstopping the 75mm and that Stug 3. Are doing pretty well, actually necessitating another big push, coming a couple more artillery pieces, maybe another AT gun, yeah. And that town's actually developing kind of interesting as well. Why don't you take what's going on there?
Yeah, we're just seeing grenadiers and flamethrower troops working rather efficiently together, bringing some ersatz troop in for support. And yeah, Fudmeister doesn't really have much here. It has some guards unit, but honestly those guards aren't exactly great, especially at Garden Town. We are seeing some artillery being dropped in, some more guards infantry, and some tank fire support from the Soviets to try and secure this town into the Red Menace. Oh, no, Red Hands. Red flag, red sickle.
I say Red Menace is a little bit aggressive, man.
I know, that's a little bit biased. I do apologize for a communist jout, yeah.
That's something I would say. Although we are going to see that 45mm take out one of those captured T-34s, say, hey, you're not allowed to have that.
I know. So it's just makes things confusing, you know?
Exactly. I mean, everything's already T-34s on the Russian side. Can't have them in the Germans, too.
I know. It's just like, just friendly fire incidents. Just think. Very, very inconsiderate those Germans using captured equipment.
So what's the thing to have any of their own toys to play with?
I know, we already got Panzer IIIs, Panzer IVs, they got a plethora of countries that they invaded that they can pick the toys out over their toy boxes. But just using T-34s against Russians, like, jeez.
You know, I thought the water's a little deeper, but those guards are walking on water right now.
Yeah, I know that infantry can cross rivers, which makes sense, but yeah, crossing a rather deep lake like that definitely seems to be 10 feet in depth, I want to say. That definitely is a bit silly. All the Soviets have Jesus powers.
No, there's no Jesus powers. Religion is the opiate of the masses, not the Soviet people.
They just have floating boots.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what? It's one of those things, I don't know if you've ever zoomed in to watch the infantry get shot as they die. I mean, we always take such a high level here, but every single one of those guys that just went down, wow, I feel like, just, again, we say this every cast, it's beautiful to watch this game.
Yeah, it's the graphical fidelity of this game is fantastic. It's like, no matter what replay you're watching, what match you're watching or playing, just zooming in on any of the battles and just seeing people shoot each other in this game is fantastic. Whether it's small scale, big scale, it doesn't matter. You're always going to get some good goddamn shots.
Indeed. Now we are well on our way through Phase A. And with artillery falling down in every single direction, I think I feel a little bit peckish. Ryan, you were telling me about a beautiful sandwich before. Why don't you tell the viewers back home what you were talking about?
So this is a classic Victorian British recipe called a toast sandwich. And simply put, you get 3 pieces of bread, you toast one of them, and you got the other 2 untoasted pieces of bread, put the toasted bread in between both, slap it together, boom, toast sandwich. No sauce, no nothing. And that's how you do it. Very simple, very cheap.
It sounds like something the Germans might have had at Stalingrad, all things considered.
I think I'd only have like 2 slices of bread at Stalingrad. Maybe 1.5. but not
they
three.
want to save it for a feast. They'll wait for it, one day at a couple days at a time.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they could always, they had Christmas. Hopefully, they get a little bit extra in.
True.
Yeah.
The Soviets are pushing forward into this town. There is one P2 that's holding things back, but there's two KV1s moving on up. So I imagine the second that they get line of sight on that P2, it's going to be more like a, well...
P-Gon?
Yeah, I was thinking about how to put that delicately with a G rating. I wasn't sure I was going to be able to do it.
Yeah, I know, those KV2s... KV2? Sorry, KV1. So there are two KV1s, so I guess if you put them together, you get a KV2. Providing some nice fire support. And honestly, the Soviets are doing a really good job in the town, just using the artillery to pound it to Kingdom Come, as Tristan keeps throwing more and more grenadiers and shots and Ostroup to try and hold onto his position.
Well, one thing to remember here, too, is that with Tristan, the 14th can, if memory serves, can get grenadiers with AT, but these are the ones without AT.
Yeah, you can get AT grenadiers, if my memory serves. Usually... I say people like taking the un-AT Panzerfaust runs in A phases to get more availability, but the AT ones are also pretty good.
Yes, they are. Now, trying to see if I can find that IS. Okay, so the ISTU 152. You were talking about the whole explosive nonsense. Yeah, if you want to take a look right now, at least on my screen. The penetration 165 mil, nothing big there. Damage to 12. The blast 10374.
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit silly. Like, it is currently it's bugged. Like I said before, by the time you're watching this video, there should be hopefully a patch out by then. Yeah, reduces the blast to something a little bit more less nuclear in levels. But currently, right now, if this ISU shoots at something, even if it misses, it's probably going to kill whatever on the other end
Just
of
a heads
the barrel.
Up, we're going to have a Ju-88 dropping AP clusters up north and does take out the IS-1? Yeah, the IS-1 Komroti.
Oh, good.
That's a big loss right there.
Yeah. You only get one IS-1, and it's probably the best tank that you can get with 26 guards, and also a leader unit as well, so that's a very good kill.
But we do have 4 ISUs coming on up, so it looks like the Death Star is approaching.
Yep. This is probably gonna get very silly up north. Very silly.
Well, there's also Yak 9 coming from the south. He's gonna get one chance, one opportunity to drop bombs.
But it keeps on forgetting. Oh!
Yeah, okay, well, at least he takes out the Voyager Stalin, though. That's still a big loss.
Yeah, it's a huge kill, for sure. It's the only heavy tank. 20 of Panzer from Get, now it's only Panzer 4s and Panzer 3s. Though fufubear is going to respond in kind to 2 of his own Ju-87s, and he's going to be trying to hit an ISU, which is probably a very smart idea.
But there is a ZSU that's just got brought up behind it, so this actually could do a fair chunk of suppression.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, he's being unmasked right now. He might even be able to take out one airplane just for funsies.
Mm-hmm.
Those Ju-87s are just so damn slow.
They're very, very, very slow.
Yak 9 coming on in. Well, he got that off. Diddley doesn't even get him off.
Nope. That's...
One of these is going to die. It's pretty much got to.
Yeah, the Soviet AA is pretty strong. Well, American AA, I guess, if we're being more technical here. Thank God for Lend-Lease.
I'm pretty sure that's what the Soviets are saying as well.
Yeah.
If one of these Ju-87s goes down, though, that's a pretty big investment. What's that, 120 points, 130 points?
I think it's even more. Like 100, yeah, probably like... Bugger, I forgot. Probably like 140, 150, if I recall. The cluster runs are pretty expensive.
Seeing a lot of armor being kind of concentrated on the center line over for fufubear. And why shouldn't it? I mean, there's a lot of good sight lines there.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, if you can see the enemy, that means they can see you too.
Yeah. Fortunately, now with tanks, one of the things I really like about how they balance tanks, and now they only have like all closed tanks of very low optics, so they are blind as a bat unless you have infantry, recon vehicles, or whatnot supporting them. So if you just do a blind tank rush with just tanks with no recon support, you're just gonna get picked off as you won't be able to see anything that you can shoot.
That's a fairly accurate comment to make there. Now, another thing I want to make a quick call out to, and maybe you can help me out in terms of identifying this for the people at home. So you get a lot more really large artillery pieces. Is that a shift in the meta coming on up here, or is this just kind of like, okay, well, this is what we have to work with?
I think the 120 mil spam is definitely rather good at the moment in the current version of the replay we're watching, just because they barely use up supply and they do a lot of damage. But I think it's just because it's more spur of the moment. 26 Scourge are some of the heaviest on-map artillery in game, so we're probably going to be seeing more of those 203s and 280 mils as well. And for the Germans, especially now, we're artillery units and other units actually show whether they have a bloody radio or not. You can actually figure out which units have radios and bring them up, because having that controlled shot, especially if those like 150s and 105 German guns, is extremely beneficial. Oh, the Yak-9B in the town, hitting a Tiger, doesn't get the kill here.
That could have been huge.
Yeah, it could have been a nice kill, and that's like a 3-star Tiger as well. I believe there's a commander problem. Is that commander nearby?
There's a commander just to the west that they're going to do if you're... So probably a 2-star Tiger.
Yeah, probably 2-star Tiger. Because I haven't seen any command lines. But yeah, just both sides setting up defensive lines essentially. Just doing the artillery back and forth.
Well,
back and forth.
A nice big piece of artillery is coming in for the Germans. We have a Würframme coming out with the Springgranate. Now, one thing I'm surprised that hasn't happened more action is this northern push. Yeah, it got stymied over here.
Mm-hmm.
But Fudmeister really has so much material. He's got to have 500 points of stuff that's just right there.
Moving in this northern area is really nice on this map, because you've got a lot of sightline blockers, a lot of forests, light forests, etc. for you to take advantage of. And especially against, German divisions that usually have good long-range AT guns, this is perfect for 26 guard to push, use their KV runs. They got, the 3 or 4 ISUs there, which can instantly anything. I don't feel like Fud is definitely taking his time and really racing this opportunity and making this northern push happen.
I think it's a fairly safe comment to make. Of course, as always, guys, we are playing this with God Vision, so it's a very different aspect for the guys down below.
Mm-hmm.
However, the KV-1, I think, is going to get bombed by some lighter bombs. Those go. He's got the infantry there.
Yep. And get some good hits.
I am surprised that for the most part, it's been a very conservative air power being utilized here.
Yeah, I mean, both sides have pretty good anti-aircraft nets set up. The Germans got a few Felling type guns, and the Russians having those M15s out. Makes it really deadly for either side to cross into the other side's anti-aircraft net. Even though both sides are using cluster bombers too, they're pretty useful to have, but it's just very deadly to use them now due to the AA setup.
Now, we are seeing T-34s take out their opposite numbers on both sides of the map here. We are seeing a very slow push happening to the south.
Yeah, very slow
push.
But it's, it's slow and steady, wins the race. Fufubear has some nice Pack 40 positions on the hill to try to stymie the tanks. And they're probably going to get artillery rather soon, I guess. I think, the SU-76 is already aiming to shoot.
Unfortunately, though, we are probably going to see a dead IS-1 Kamarotti, which, I mean, he's had so many freaking criticals on him already.
Yeah.
He might as well be dead, and there we go.
Yeah, he was taking many shots and a half, and now he's blown up in the middle of the field.
Well, there's an artillerist right there, just absolutely murdering the opposite number there. Into the north... Ooh, another Ju-88 made a strike, probably took another IS-152. But he's not going to make it out with his life.
No, he is not.
As a conversation we've had before, those carpet bombing and, well, I'm using the wrong term again, but those cluster bombers are extremely devastating. Those guys provide a lot of punch for their price, I would say. You cannot lose those cheaply.
Yeah, they're very powerful, because for the most part, especially the German runs, once you drop the bombs, whatever's on the below you will die. The tricky thing, however, is making them cost efficient, because usually you need to kill like at least 2 tanks or so to actually get your money's back worth with those cluster bombers. Just due to their price, and honestly don't get that much in terms of availability. We're getting cluster bombers in the middle on these Tigers, and it does knock out run. but he does lose a cluster bomber, yeah, so if that was a run-for-run trade and that cluster bomber didn't kill anything before, which I have no idea, I haven't kept track, yeah, it's honestly advantageous for Tristan more than anything, because that cluster bomber costs more than one Tiger.
Indeed. Now, one thing you were saying before about trying to find those command lines, I don't think anyone's brought a commander in yet. Maybe I'm wrong. Taking a quick look around the field as we speak.
I think you are correct. Oh, there's one commander down south from Curbs.
Oh, there it is.
But that's about it. That's about it. Nothing too much. Again, counter battery on the Russian artillery lines, all the way in the top right corner. Yeah, that's a lot of 76 mils. That's a lot of 76 mils.
1, 2, 3. Jeez, we have 8. We have 4 batteries. 5 batteries.
This is a lot of guns. I think that's the technical term.
You ain't whistling Dixie. He's playing the 1812 Overture by himself over there.
You could do a 21 gun salute.
You know what? You are not wrong. Now, one thing, unfortunately for him, is he does not have an artillerist or anyone to just, to otherwise walk that fire into opposing lines. That could be absolutely devastating if he did, though.
Yeah, and considering like that, amount of artillery. I mean, it is a lot and it's rather scary. It's not going to be all that effective, I think, because it's rather low damage.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have corrected shot, and they're already, all the way in the top right corner of the map, so they're going to be extremely inaccurate. I mean, we're seeing them drop down and receive. Actually, no, they got some good hits here in the 120 mils, but it's pretty inconsistent. Okay, never mind. They're actually killing them all. I take my words back.
No, but think about it. Considering how many shells they're lofting there, they have to, statistically, they have to hit something.
That's true. That's true. I mean, that is like eight artillery guns just firing.
I forget where I saw this. I'm listening to a podcast in World War II, and I think they were talking about the beginning of one of the campaigns. I think it was the Soviets dropped something like 300,000 shells in the first 24 hours of a barrage.
That's a lot of shells.
Yeah, and I feel like I'm looking at the physical representation of that right here. Another carpet cluster bomber goes down. They're going after that Tiger Fuhrer, and it's a worthwhile target, but you gotta kill what you're aiming at.
Yeah, and once again, the German AA is pretty strong in that area of the map. And those flak villains, and also the flak 88, yeah, it's a deadly combination. Absolutely deadly.
Wait, where's the 88?
It's just south of the flag villain.
I see it. There we go, yeah.
In a pretty good position too, can cover the open field from any tanks that dare move up.
Well, at long last though, Fudmeister does take that northernmost victory point, but we have 2 Ju-88s that are going to come in with those HE bombs. Between the two of them, we're going to get over 1,000 pounds of ordnance dropping down this infantry.
Yeah, and with the recent patch of the 50-kilogram bombs being buffed a bit, this is definitely going to be pretty deadly.
Yes, it is. And back to 12-12. Now, I am looking at seeing more and more of these KV-1s being brought on, but we're into Phase C now, aren't we?
And honestly, for 26 guards, I mean, especially, well, Fudmeister does have balanced income, but in terms of tank units, you can only get your B-phase tank units with 26 Strelkovy. So, they're probably going to start running out. Maybe not instantly, but give it, 15, 20 minutes, and I think I'd be hurting for that armor.
Now, I am looking at the stuff being brought on in. Ooh, I thought for a second when you see the IS-152s start to do their death nukes, but we're being cheated yet.
The funny thing is, for how a nuclear thing works, is even if they miss, they still kill the tank because of the blast radius. With armor penetration shells, they're pretty much shooting depleted uranium, apparently. But once again, by the time you're watching this video, it should be fixed.
Well, Sabos do pretty good damage. I just gotta look at it again. Just the normal suppression, 237. Their suppression, 393.
Yeah.
Now, we're going to get a bit of ground strafing here, which I think is probably the best that we're going to do, but now they have a ME-109 kind of hopping on them. And there is all that artillery fire, and yes, I think we're still going to see at least one of these Soviet planes go down.
Oh, it's... Oh, yeah, there we go. Germany A, helping out a bit now.
Yes.
Oh, no, the Messerschmitt's going to bug off. Yeah, all the planes are going to bug off. They had a little spat, and now they're going to leave.
Well, you know, he's just something mean about that other guy's girlfriend, and, you know, there we are. But the machine gun's down, the IG-18 is down, and actually, although it sounds ridiculous to make this comment, those were the linchpins in the defense. You cannot lose those two things to the north. This could be an opening that they've been waiting for.
Yeah, this is definitely for Fudmeister for sure.
Consider the absurd amount of material he's got here, though.
Yep. He's got AA, he's got more KV runs, just 85s, the ISUs, all the infantry now being brought in. As that Messerschmitt flies over and he gets shot down pretty much immediately. Yeah, look, those M15s are scary, absolutely scary. So it's a concentrated area too. And here comes all the artillery, and that's just gonna pancake the entire map. Well, not entire map, but entire section. I'm just trying to think of a word that isn't area.
Flank?
Flank, yeah, flank, that's good. I need to use this a thesaurus more often, Khan.
Well, I was just, I was hungry, I was thinking steak, it was the whole thing. While you were talking about that up there, though, we did see a cluster bomb fall in the center area, and actually, you know what, we did actually lose that Tiger Fuhrer.
Oof.
With the radios and everything, so the artillery no longer is doing as well. And with that, not for nothing, but that is a big loss.
It is. It definitely is.
And wow, yeah, just watch the 152 fire a shot and see the entire world explode is just kind of terrifying. Oh, missed decimal points.
I know, it's... They probably just forgot a zero somewhere. And then one of the programmers was coding back in the AP cells, and it's like, sacre bleu! I forgot a zero, and it's in the live version.
Of course, the inherent Allied bias. Duh.
Imagine if it was a French unit. Oh, there'd be the French bias claims already.
And deservedly so. Yeah. Interestingly, there is this one air such troop in just to the south of the Russian bulge up north that says they're happy to see us. And he's holding one victory point by himself. I feel like if the Russians were just a teensy bit more attentive, they could be pushing and taking several positions pretty damn easily. Yeah,
I just think it's really just a matter of time for Fudmeister to finally push through here. There's so much equipment concentrated in this area. I'm really quite surprised that Germans haven't been dropping as much artillery, or rocket artillery, just everything into this northern cluster, because all these Soviet units are extremely bunched up. This is asking to get bombed artillery. Well, mainly artillery. The bombers are probably just going to die as they do their flyover.
Well, we did see another Ju-87 with the 50 kilogram bombs taking out another IS-152. So not for nothing, we're still getting a pretty good amount of devastation there. But I'm curious to see what he's going to try to do to backstop this attack. I don't know what can be done. He's got a couple of scratch teams moving in, we have a Tiger moving up. But they're close in distances, that should be still very much in the Soviet favor.
Yes, yeah. I mean, that one Tiger, is a 2-star Tiger, which is still pretty powerful, but at closer ranges, will face a little bit of trouble from those KV tanks.
Quantity as a quality all of its own.
Exactly.
And it's 13-11 now, by the way, there, folks. So we are seeing that 14-10 as the Russians take a southern VP as well, beginning to creep across that open ground. The positions where previously we had PaK-40s have now been bombed into oblivion and shelled like crazy. And there's a lone Flak 88 there. Might be able to get a kill or two, but I can't imagine. Oof. First shot takes out an Su-76, kills the driver. And the second shot kills it. Wow. So, not for nothing, Curbs is actually starting to run a little bit dry down south. Is this a consequence of just poor unit management, or has this been trading out with Fubar? Or sorry,
I think it's really just been trading out a bit. I mean, both him and fufubear are in the lower income in C phase now. But honestly, phasing out against 20 Panzer isn't that bad, because 20 Panzer is period of time. Will also be fading out, because they really only get mostly A and B phase tank ISU as he goes down to artillery down south. But yeah, I don't really think much is probably going to develop on the southern side, especially considering that hill that fufubear has, or fufubear, is extremely defensible.
Very, very true. And now it's the Panzer Grenadiers' turn to be caught out while on the water in the middle of the lake.
Oh, just zooming in on them. It's like...
Oh, they're frozen in fear.
I know, it's like a leg that is knee-deep in water, even though the water's definitely a little bit more knee-deep.
On Superior, they don't want to just kill guys, they're just kind of, you know...
Yeah. They're going for a swim, you know. Leave them be.
Yak 9B going after the Verframen. The Verframen, I don't think he's even fired. He's aiming now, but I think it's too late. I think he's dead.
Oh.
No, not dead.
Whoa.
Certainly panicked, though.
Those bombs were off just by a little bit. If they landed just like 10 meters up north a bit, yeah, that would have been a dead Verframen. He is a lucky bugger.
Well, another Yak 9 coming to the north looking to take out one of those Tigers. And while a second one in here... Ooh, the last 152 has been bailed out.
Huh.
The Yak 9B might die, but he'll do it in victory. Yes, he does. There goes the Tiger.
Damn, good kill. Very good kill. And is he going to get out? Yeah, he's going to get out. So that's going to be a cost-efficient run, yeah. But we've got another Tiger here. And Tristan setting up some Panzer II Luxes. But yeah, this is not looking too good. I mean, goddamn, the Strelkovy all the way in the northern flank. They're just burning all the pioneers. Burning them all.
I'm watching the PE2 go after these Tigers the center of the map. He might get a kill. He does.
Oh, damn.
The Russian air power has been rather delicious in the last little bit. And Fudmeister bringing in some late game KV-85s.
Good call. Good call.
But I'm sorry, you were saying, yes, the Pioneers are getting taken by the Strelkovy, but Strelkovy might get hit by these bombs? No.
Oh. Barely survives that run. Oh, I mean, the bombs barely missed.
And the Yak 9B, despite the pilot panicking, is going the wrong direction. Oh, okay, there we go. Nice.
There you go.
Home.
Yeah.
Oof. And now we know as well that the water can be lit on fire.
Oh yeah, there's a plane in there. Not much of a plane anymore, but
hey,
a plane nonetheless.
Exactly. Now, have we seen that AT grenade range buff yet? We talked about that in cast last week.
Yeah, this version of the game should have that grenade buff in effect, which honestly is great. That grenade buff makes a huge difference when it comes to infantry AT actually being useful.
No doubt, no doubt. Now we're gonna have Zisk on the middle part of the field, who's just blowing away Stug by Stug here. Let's not forget, guys, a lot of the Soviet artillery doubles as their AT, and why shouldn't it? It's pretty freaking fearsome caliber. Yeah,
it's really quite cool. I mean, I never really used this 3 personally as an artillery gun. It's just because I forget to use it, but it's really damn lovely. It being a pretty much multi-purpose gun. It's not as powerful as this 2 in terms of the anti-tank capabilities, but goddamn, being able to just have an artillery gun in the pinch is extremely useful. Also, having an Andrusha is extremely useful.
As I said, I saw the smoke contrails and I was like, Andreyusha.
Yeah.
Little Andre.
Just super Katusha. Absolutely crazy.
And that will give the 1311 back to the Soviets yet again. And I think, and I don't want to go and put words in fufubear's mouth here, but I think fufubear and Tristan are starting to slip. Their artillery park is starting to run dry.
Yeah.
Yes, they've got Opal Blitzes moving around trying to resupply, but they haven't really done a whole lot with their artillery in the last 10 minutes or so.
No, they haven't. And really, it's just this northern flank that's really screwing over the Germans so far, as Fudmeister's managed to grab an awful lot of ground. And he has pretty good defenses dug into the areas that he's managed to capture.
Indeed.
Like right now he has like those stugs yet. Oh, not stugs, the tigers in position, but I'm just looking at it, it doesn't really have anything nearby it has eyes on, so they're not really doing anything because they can't bloody see anything.
Well, the 45 mils by contrast, hopelessly worthless pieces of equipment against those tigers, but they can just annoy the bejesus out of them until they fall back.
Oh, yeah, they can get some critical hits.
Yeah. I'm just thinking about the numbers overall for the most part. I mean, it's a tall order, to say the least. Now, Soviets are continuing to threaten, but this is actually a really, really difficult time for them. They're not going to be able to get across that 500 meters. Yeah, about that. Yeah, about 500 meters between those two tree lines. That's just not going to happen without some more artillery. And I don't know. Are we going to see some more smoke shells? It's a potential. And we see those 8 cannon are beginning to fire. No, okay, looking for the German artillery park in the center, north. I shouldn't be too surprised by that. Let's see where those first shots land.
Yeah, so the Soviet artillery park, I mean, he's definitely condensed it a bit more now, just probably so you can easily supply it, but it's still pretty crazy. It was 8.76mm artillery guns. I mean, these two Soviet divisions, which are both the same division, have it's one of the best Soviet artillery divisions in the entire game. Just use all the heavy guns that you can get. Even if you haven't really seen too many heavy guns, Kurbs does have one of the 280 mils out now, and that thing is well, it's really quite scary being on the other end of it. It has 11,000 blasts, and rightfully so. That's not a bug.
Exactly. Yeah. But it's a little more terrifying with an AFV that can get line of sight and just blow everything to pieces. I'm actually taking a look right now. These 150s and Tristan's artillery park. And for the most part, these are fully stocked artillery pieces, so losing those would be a decent blow.
Yeah, it definitely be so as well, as they just get counter-batteried to absolute hell by those Soviet 76s. And yeah, Tristan, he's trying to hold on. He's got some Begalik Grenadiers being brought in half-tracks as support, but this is a little bit too much stuff here from Fudmeister, and he has very good defensive positions all dug in around the map.
Indeed.
Yeah, and just looking at the rest of the map, down south, we're seeing Vanguard unit trying to make his way up the hill. He's probably not going to get very far. But yeah, both sides is really defending their respective areas across the no man's land down south.
Ooh, baby, right? Were you trying to go the whole ASMR thing to me for a second there?
Oh, just
shivers, man. Shivers up my spine. With the 120 mils, yes, they lose units, but immediately they start barraging the bejesus out of it. So Verframen fired, and what happens? They're firing back with his mortars. And might get lucky and take out the anti-air half-track. That would still be a decent kill.
That'd be a very good kill, yeah. But not getting any direct hits, which he requires.
That's a direct hit on the P4, though.
Oh, yeah.
That's a 280? Judging by the size of the impact, probably.
Probably, yeah. That might be tier 80 for sure. Everything is really, really scary.
And the guard squad makes it across. He makes it up the hill.
Whoa!
To be fair, he was fighting against Aufklärer, which, even with an inherent Axis bias, that's not going to get you, through the end of the day. Another PE2 strike. Where's he looking to go with that? After the infantry, interesting decision. There's a pioneers, the SVT pioneers. I guess I sort of understand.
Up north?
Center, right on the lake. You rocket for infantry and a beautiful little water effects. And when all is said and done, we see pieces of an infantry squad. Another one pinned down.
Yeah, that's not really much of there's not really much of an infantry squad, yeah.
And one guy with his arms over his head, which I completely understand.
I completely understand too. Oh wait, he's good now. He's happy. A little less pinned down, a little less stressed. God, it's so funny to see those guys walk over water. I wonder if Eugene's gonna fix out or not, whether they can't walk over these lakes, or maybe it's something they can't can't code in to stop that from happening. But it's just... what a weird bug. What a weird bug.
What a world we live in. It happens.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we could definitely tell the Germans are kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel by what they're bringing in here. We have IG-18s and Ersatz MGs coming from Tristan.
Yep.
And down south, we got a couple more Panzer Grenadiers coming in from fufubear, but then again, he does have that Vanguard income, so technically he should have a little bit left.
Yeah, he's probably pretty low on tanks by now, especially if you're playing 20th Panzer. And Kurbs does have... He doesn't have many tanks of his own, but those KV-85s are definitely rather scary for the P4s to take out.
Yes, sir. When they can see that German infantry, which they can definitely see, they start shelling it as it starts coming towards the front. That's kind of a terrifying prospect here.
Yeah. I mean...
Look at this aggressive 76 mil positioning here.
Up north?
No, Senator Kurbs has a 76 mil inside this forest. He's going to push back on this Pioneer to try to get really close to that P4s. That could be deliciously good.
It could be, for sure. Yeah, it does have the heat ammunition, so it can knock out those P4s, and at range, that's honestly a pretty accurate shot.
If the P4s realize the danger, they're going to adjust a little bit further south. Good plan there. And is this another carpet to the south? No, ME-109s. Checking back into the north, the Soviets have cleaned up their insides, and I think, unless these two Tigers can do something about it, this might be the breakout necessary.
I mean, we got... Yeah, it is really just coming down to those two Tigers from Tristan and Hoden. Once again, those two Tigers are pretty close together. So if, bombs, clusters, artillery decides to drop in their position, Tristan's not going to have a good time.
Actually, I'm surprised he's not shelling it right now.
Yeah, I mean, so...
never mind.
Oh, there we go, yeah.
This is how you play the 26 Strelkovy, though. I mean, to me, you have to fight almost like a World War I division. Yes, it has the ability to be mechanized, but where's the fun in that?
Yeah, you really want to be using those artillery pieces, great effect. I mean, the Andrushas, the 280s, the 203s are some of the best, most hardest hitting artillery guns in the entire game. By God, you're going to want to use them. Even though we're just seeing the 76 mil spam.
But the 76 mil spam, I think it keeps a nice economic balance overall.
Yeah, you got the M for the cheap, because only 60 points. It's really quite affordable for an artillery gun.
Ooh,
and then you bring in the heavier.
Go after P4, it's holding things up. He was able to take that out. That's one of the last tanks I think that fufubear's got.
Probably. He's probably running really, really low. Yak 9 does he drop the bombs? Or I think got Rappin's jammed. Oh no!
He got some out. He got some out. He didn't get all of them out. Did he just go down? Yeah, he just went down. And that was the fire in the sky we were talking about before. I'm fascinated to see what happens to this 280. 280 is going to drop rounds. It might be a little bit too short here. He's dropping on top of that brave Pioneer squad that's just moved across the water. And there goes half the forest.
And instantly pinned down. Those 280s, especially because I have corrected shot as well. It is a middle finger of death from a far, far distance.
A middle finger of death. I wonder how that compares to the pointer finger or the ring finger of death.
Yeah, I think the ring finger of death would be like the 203.
That definitely sounds about fair. Ooh, one of the Tigers went down to the north. I don't know what the heck happened there. My guess is it was a combination of tanks and artillery fire, considering how much ordnance is being dropped there. I make this joke pretty often, too, about it being sort of like at the surface of the moon. But
yep.
Really
Up north is definitely cratery as hell. I mean, just zooming and looking around, there's a lot of dead things, a lot of trees that aren't really much of a tree anymore. And a lot of craters.
Luckily for the Germans, though, we aren't seeing the artillery fire being dropped on this road.
Mm-hmm.
That could have been very, very quickly been 3 dead Pioneer squads, and at this point you cannot afford to lose that. And Fudmeister, well, he's bringing all those tanks in he didn't have before, so 6 tanks, a couple of guard squads.
Yeah, I haven't seen those T-34s he's coming at all yet, so he definitely probably has those guys in reserve, which he's now bringing out. And that's a lot of T-34s.
I want to see Curbs uses Andreyusha maybe to kind of attack this town in the center.
Mm-hmm.
Should have been there probably a pretty long time ago. Yeah, it really should have been, I think, in my humble opinion. And we are going to see it's 14-10. Yep, as Germans begin to wrap up the Soviets begin to wrap up some of this territory.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised to see a tap out very soon.
The huge capture in the middle, just capping that entire town. Now he's got all the guards, DP squads being brought in to secure the area. And he's managed to get in that one poor Grenadier Führer. It is not going to have a good time. Not one bit.
Just remember, surrender is always an option. Smoke!
Not for the Führer. Here we go. He's dropping in grenades on the guards DP. Yeah.
Oh, and ordnance on the position too. That is, man. That's a nice cross moment.
Calling artillery on his own troops.
That's an OP move.
It's so great too because the leader gives corrected shot bonuses, so he is literally calling artillery on his own position. There's a gameplay effect.
That was like the end of like Saving Private Ryan right there. That was a beautiful death. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect. That is absolutely perfect.
But with that though, the Soviets reach further and further, grasping to find German positions. There's not a whole lot for them to be looking for. I mean, up north you're going to see infantry. Yes, it's going to hold it for a moment here until the Führer gets pinned down, and then everything is going to get taken out.
Yeah.
The artillery park's dead. Yeah, Tristan taps out. He's got nothing. He can't do anything about it. He's just artillery to pieces. And I believe fufubear is going to kind of call it quits pretty damn quickly as well at 15-9. Yep, there we go.
There we go. Yep. And that's a GG. And looking at team stats, yeah. That Tristan actually got a lot of kills. Most kills of anyone in that match.
Very true.
Yeah. Looking at the kill list real fast.
This looks like it was from Kirk's perspective.
Yeah, where I got the 280 mil.
One SU-85, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, so I mean, some notable units, but nothing like, oh my god, oh my god.
Yeah, nothing crazy. Really just the SU-85. Looking at losses, nothing much. Once again, we're only really seeing half the picture with losses. But yeah, pretty interesting map and match.
Indeed.
Honestly, yeah, just artillery.
Well, like we've said before, like Napoleon said, the king of the battlefield, man, for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
But folks, with that in mind, unless, Rang, you have any more culinary delights with which to share with us?
None whatsoever.
Alright, folks. In that case, then, come back on Thursday. We'll have another one for you. But for right now, he's Rangro.
He is Con Ulrich. God damn it.
We'll see you guys all next time. Take it easy.
Bye-bye.